Hi everyone, my name is Reem Mohiuddin, and this is my Natures of the Material project. My building is the Australian Islamic Center by Glenn Murray. This is the picture of the Australian Islamic Center. It was constructed from 2006 to 2018 by Glenn Murray in Newport, Australia, and the style of architecture is contemporary. The main concept that I've incorporated into my model is Glenn Murray's use of transparency, simple geometry, unity, and Islamic tradition. A major concept used in this building was to unify the people and make them feel like its space is not only used for Muslims, but a space that's open and accessible to everyone. Using my concepts, I've created my small scale model, which is right here. And in my first version of the small scale model, I only used two concepts, which were transparency and simple geometry. And as I developed my model further and further, I incorporated more concepts to develop it than it originally was. So you can see this first version of the small scale model, I used two concepts, which were transparency and simple geometry. To show transparency, I used plastic wrap and made a 3D rectangular shape to show simple geometry. And I have the thick rectangular piece of styrofoam at the bottom to represent concrete and its purpose of providing strength and support of the model. Going forward, I reworked my model completely because the first model seemed like more of an encasing of something rather than an abstract representation of my concepts. So in order to develop my design more, I incorporated more of Glenn Murray's concept into my second small scale model, which is uh so the concepts I incorporated into this was unity and Islamic tradition. These concepts were shown by having a circular shape of concrete cubes in the middle, forming a circle and metal connections between each of them, which symbolizes people holding hands and forming a sense of unity with each other. And the way I showed Islamic tradition is by including a crescent and moon, which in the Islamic tradition symbolizes the five pillars of Islam, which are very, very important in the religion and crucial. It also symbolizes uh, that the greatness of the Creator. Uh, the model sits on a square space to symbolize the use of simple geometric shapes, and the wooden sticks symbolize um, the five pillars Islam, of Islam and to show the Islamic religion and Islamic tradition. And in my final model, I decided to take down the crescent and star because it was really obvious as to what I was trying to indicate. Instead, I used Islamic ornamental patterns to show Islamic tradition. So I used wood to create an ornamental pattern, and it's resting between two concrete blocks because it provides strength and allows stability for the ornamental pattern created to stand. And the cube shape is meant to symbolize simple geometry. And I have the sides and top of the cube open to show transparency. And the colored glass is meant to show off the different ornamental colors that are shown in the Islamic tradition. And the glass at the bottom is meant to indicate people is meant to indicate a sense of people holding hands, whereas the wooden sticks are the people, and the glass is meant to represent their hands and how all the pieces of the glass connect to one another, forming a sense of unity. And the wire is meant to indicate uh, a sense of connection with one another. And it's sitting, as I mentioned before, that it's sitting on a square base to show simple geometry, as that was one of my concepts that I used before. And at the top, something I've added my glass was some extra glass I had, so I created some uh, like minor ornamental patterns at the top with the different colored plexiglass that I had to indicate my concept of summer condition. And yeah, this is my project for Natures and Materials. Thank you for listening.